So let's start our Nourish class. Let's come onto our mats. I encourage you to have bare feet if possible, or yoga socks, something like a grippy sock, but being able to use the soles of your feet and spread your toes out, that's very, very valuable. Kevin's gonna move back to his mat once he takes care of all the tech stuff and make sure that that's doable. Coming to the center of your mat, feet nice and parallel. For a minute, just look down and see how you stand. If your feet are not parallel, like you're making a number 11 in the sand of Yuma, then bring your toes in. We tend to start to have our toes go out as we age, as we're not very conscious of the way we're walking. Let's bring the feet in alignment. Okay, roll your shoulders back. Find the balance in your body. Feel like your weight is in both feet evenly. Inhale, reach up. Take a deep breath in, stretch through the side body, and exhale, lower your arms. We're just expanding the lungs. Big inhale. And exhale. For today, Kevin doesn't have a mic on. You might be able to hear a little bit through my mic of him, but he's going to be quite quiet. One more lift. And lower to the side, and we're going to just do a gentle side bend. I want to say, this is a stretching and flexibility class. This is not a performance class. You do not have to do exactly as deep or as much as we're doing. You do what's right for your body today. Nothing should feel uncomfortable or like it is causing you a stress. Inhale, reach up. Let's grab a hold of the left wrist with the right hand and just come into a really gentle side bend, just drawing yourself over to the side. Don't hold your breath. Inhale, come back up tall. Let's just reapproach that nice and gentle. Let that go. Sweep the arms wide and just do a few gentle rotations through the shoulders. We're going to go to the other side. Inhale, reach up high, take the gravity out of your spine, take a hold of your wrist and come into that side bend. You come too deeply in the side bend, you're going to have sore ribs, so this is not the idea. We reach, we get length, and then we go for that bend. We'll come back to neutral and nice rotations backwards with the arms instead. Coming backwards, rolling backwards, and relax. Going to do a little exercise we call apple picking. It's really good for loosening up the body. You pretend there's an apple right above your head. You don't have to look at that apple. It's an imaginary apple, but we reach up and we grab a hold of that and pull it down. Reach and pull. Now try getting up a little bit onto the toes on the side you're reaching, just flexing through that side body and finding the loose movement. You'll feel that stretch all the way down to your hip bone, all the way down. Kevin tends to look at his apples, but he doesn't do that by being in his neck like this. He's opening up his whole chest, and it's a lot more, so I just reach and just do. All right, let's let that go. We're starting to get really loosened up from the waist up. That's awesome. Let's go into our shrug and our extend here. So we're going to create fists with the hands and draw up the tension into the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, open the hands and let that go. Inhale, find your tension, and then exhale, we can consciously let that go. One more time. Isn't it weird? I feel like I'm supposed to get angry when I do that, but then just let it go. It's just like, oh, it's chill, we're good. Okay, heading for our forward fold warm up here. Okay, people try to touch their toes, and what we often see is they do this, and they're like, I cannot touch my toes. But the fold is in their rib cage, which is not where we have a hinge. So what we want to do is keep this really soft. We're going to hinge at the hips here. Going to reach up. We're going to go slow. So think about this. We start to swan dive down, hinge at the hips, and bend the knees. Hands on the thighs. We're keeping this very soft. Knees are bent. Drop the shoulders. Let the head hang down. So very soft forward fold. Straighten the legs a little bit, bend the knees, roll up to standing. If you feel like you still don't quite have it, when we go in the forward fold, put your hands in the creases of your hips and come into that forward fold. We're going back down again, okay? but you're going to either be onto the thighs or onto the floor. Nice and tall. I just have my fingers in the creases of my hips to show you. I can feel that that's where my bend is happening. Okay, I don't need my hands there anymore. So hands on the thighs, knees are bent. Drop the crown of the head. Decide if you put your hands on the floor or on your thighs. What is right for your body today? Straighten the legs. Bend the knees. Straighten the legs any amount. Talking to those hamstrings about stretching them out. Bend the knees and roll up to standing. We spend so much of our life in a sedentary kind of, sedentary? Isn't that like dirt? No, that's sediment. Okay, but where we sit so much of our life that we end up so messed up in our hamstrings. This is so good for that. We're going to go one more time down there, and we're going to go into a rag doll. But first we're going to start with a gentle back bend. People do their, I'm glad you're going sideways. People do a back bend by putting their neck back. This is not a back bend. This is really hard on the cervical spine. We're going to reach up the hands, palms forward. Okay, now the arms come behind the ears. We start to put the weight back into the heels a little bit and the hips come forward. There's your back bend. Come back up to neutral. Arms come back, shift the weight, and then come to neutral. Are you holding your breath? Kevin is. Take a deep breath in and let's just swan dive all the way back down again. Bend the knees. And as you hang, grab opposite elbows. We're headed for ragdoll and just swaying and swaying. It's a great little gentle conversation with your low spine, with your hips, with your hamstrings. And then just pause, roll up to standing. And let's go to shoulders here. Going to inhale. Now, first of all, let's do that foot check. How is your stance doing? Look down for a second. Are your feet parallel? Is this a thing you need to start to attend to? And then come up into a good posture. Let's reach way up into a Y shape with our arms. Really strike those fingertips on the diagonal. Find that reach. Big breath in. Exhale. Bring the elbows to side body. I almost started my strive voice. Did you hear that? Inhale. Reach wide. Exhale, squeeze. Going to a T shape with the arms. Kevin and I are going to be friends here. Reaching wide. And this one's a little weird. If it feels awkward, that's what happens. We're bringing the elbows to side body and forearms parallel to the floor. Really squeezy in the shoulders, isn't it? Inhale, reach wide. And just lower the arms down. So we often end up with issues with tingly hands, some kind of carpal tunnel issues start to happen. I get very jangly in a nerve in my shoulder that runs down my arm. We have really great stretches that attend to this, and this is one of them. Okay, and this involves you take your arm and you support around the elbow with the other hand and you take it diagonally across the body. Okay, now we curl up, we bend that elbow. And then, see, I've got a fist right now. Then as you come to here, you extend and flare those fingers down. Curl up. So I'm facing forward still and the arm is diagonal. Curl it up. Extend and flare. Curl it up. Let's take it straight out from the shoulder now. And extend and flare. So good. Can you feel the little tendons in your forearms all gliding and moving alongside each other and the joints in your fingers? Now we're going to go at a 45-degree angle. So this is nice to support it because man, will I get tired of just my hand hanging in the air. I was never an electrician, so I don't get that strength. And let that go. Just shake it out a little bit. And we'll go to the other side. Some people like to hold their forearm. I like around the elbow. And first of all, face forward, arm diagonal across. Make a fist and flare out those fingertips. Can you draw them down towards the floor? Good job. And curl it up. And pull down. Looking for that flexation and just see if your hand can get nice and wide. Let's take that out straight out from the shoulder. So Kevin knows all this stuff too. He's very adept at this stuff, but he likes to demo and not cue. So we're hoping that he'll have a little bit involved, but usually what he does is just tell me.
You went to sideways and
Oh, we're going to 45-degree angle. See, this is what he does for me. He catches me when I'm missing and I get chitty chatty and then don't have the right instructions last time. And there we go. Let that go. We're going to use a little bit different of the shoulders, and then we're moving on because we get really fatigued in the arms if we do too much all in a row here. Going to come up into this nice big box arm kind of position, holding opposite elbows. Feel yourself straighten up through the spine as soon as you do this. Nice parallel feet. Find the stability, and we're just going to look up underneath that right elbow. So we open up a little through the chest. Don't hold your breath. Come to neutral spine, look forward. Other side. Neutral spine, look forward. One more time. Just feel that twist in the ribs, that nice twist in the spine. And again. And come to neutral, let that go. We're going to change position here. At some point in our class today, we're going to be on our knees for 2 exercises. If knees bother you, grab a chair and do that exercise in a chair instead. Or get yourself some knee pads, that would be great. But for now, we're going to go to squats, because squats are very important. So feet about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit more if you want more stability. But we want the feet parallel. Okay, we're squatting, yes. So what we do is we tend to put our arms out just like this to start with and come down just a little bit into that squat. Don't get too much great to start, Kevin. Just coming down into that squat and come back up. The reason we put our arms out is because if I start into a forward fold, I'll know right away, okay? So we just come down and press back out of the... If there was one exercise I would say take home and do on the daily, it would be squatting. Okay, if your arms are fatigued by being out there this far, you can bring them to center. Kevin's coming a little bit lower and looking for that flexibility to come down low. Knees track forward. That's your last one. That's the goal right there. It's pretty darn amazing. Let's step the feet apart. We're headed for a sumo squat. So the interesting thing, let's track this in our minds, because it's you individually on your mats there, that when we did the squat just now, our knees went forward. We put our toes out. Look at Kevin for a second here. Put toes out, right? And then when we come into the squat now, our knees come out on the diagonal. We come into what we call a sumo squat here. So it's a little bit different use of the hips here. So toes out, heels in. Take a check on that.
Where your heels are in relation to your hips makes it easier or harder on your knees.
Oh, I don't know if you can hear him through my mic, but he's saying if you step really wide, this is much more challenging for the knees and the body, okay? So you can have the distance between your feet be right for you. Reach it up. Bring the hands to heart center and come into any level of this squat you can. Make sure you can press yourself back out of that really effectively. Come on down one more time. It is not about ego. We don't have to do the ultimate. We have to do the right thing for our body today and let that go. I'm going to encourage you to next class, if possible, to bring a strap, okay? Because we do a lot of things with yoga straps. Let me see if I can get this. So this is my yoga strap. You can use a robe, belt thing if you want to, or anything you need to. It's not stretchy, okay? This is a firm strap. I'm going to encourage you to, if you don't have one today, to make sure you bring one tomorrow. We'll try not to use this too much this time.
Not tomorrow, next time.
Not tomorrow, Wednesday. Don't come here tomorrow, we won't be here. Okay, we're going to just take our arm, our right arm up and over and just drop it down behind. Okay, if you have shoulder issues, you're going to be here instead, in front of the face. Okay, dropping it down behind or in front of your face and getting into that stretch. Now we reach up and we grab with the other hand. This is a pull, not down on the diagonal. Yeah, this is a pull down onto the diagonal a little bit. Just a nice little stretch. Do not drop your head into this, okay? Look forward, take a breath. Be in that stretch. There you go, that's right. Gently let that go. A little bit of a rotation through the shoulders. There's a really good way to do this with a strap. We'll catch that next time. Drop the other hand up and over. Again, you can always have it in front of your face instead. And take a hold of it and just give it a little bit of tension there, a little bit of a stretch. Deep breath in, exhale into the release in the muscles. And let that go. Roll out a little bit. Palms down, like you're pushing on a very low counter. Do you see that my fingers are very flat? Okay, we're coming into that. The screen is there. Hey, you're taking over everything. And come into a rotation. Good job, Kevin. We're just coming into a rotation with those hands. Again, really attending to our forearms. With keyboards and phones and even just driving, we need to take care of that and let that go. I was wanting to go to feet, but can I clip this on you, Kevin?
What are we doing?
Doing feet. Kevin's going to guide you through the foot exercise.
Uh-oh. Super bad news, everybody.
I have a fused ankle, so I'm not the best for feet, and Kevin is...
They can't hear you anymore.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
in charge of the world.
You're in charge of the world.
So we're going to make sure that our hips are over our heels, and we're going to spread our hands wide and spread our toes as wide as we can. Hopefully you're not wearing shoes or socks. If you are, you're a little contained at this point. We're going to press our toes individually down into the mat like you're playing the monkey keyboard with your feet there. And now we're going to scrunch up our hands, scrunch up our foot fists so that we're making tight toes and an arched foot, and then spread them wide again, wide fingers, wide toes. Press them all into the mat again or into the ground wherever you're standing, into the sand on the beach. Go ahead and just wiggle your toes individually down, pressing them in. Now crumple up again. Make another foot fist, curl it up tight. Tight toes, arch your foot. Spread them wide again like that. Press them back into the mat. Individually down. Am I also doing big toes?
Yes. Oh,
And lifts?
and
Okay.
lifts, yeah.
So next I would suggest you keep your hands out in front of you for a little bit of balance and pick a spot on the wall in front of you so that you have a point of reference, just a fixed spot there. We're going to lift onto our toes and lower, lift up and lower. We're going to do this 2 or 3 times, just lifting and lowering.
Just lifting the heels.
Lift those heels. Yeah, don't hover. Don't actually hover off the ground. Keep some portion of your foot on the ground. Up onto your toes one more time. Lower. Now we're going to come up there and we're going to stay there, up on the balls of our feet. And we're going to just pump our heels down toward the ground without actually dropping all the way. Just a little bit of calf work there. Like gophers popping out of the ground in Alberta. We're going to put our heels down and we're going to shift to one side. Pull the toes up toward your shins. Pull them hard toward your shin. Hard to see on that little camera, but there you go. We're going to go to the other side. We're going to lift our toes back toward our shin. Really engage that quad and calf. Shift to the other side. Pull hard toward your shin. Shift to the other side. Pull up hard toward your shin. Really engage all the way up your leg chain. And let that go. You can walk that out just a little bit.
We're going to stretch our calves, and you're going to do that one as well.
What are we doing?
This one.
Oh, sure. Next we're going to bend over slightly and hands on knees, and then we're going to press one hip back, straighten that leg, straighten that arm, so you're driving that hip backwards with a straight leg. And this is sometimes called elephant walk. It's also from the video All the Single Ladies, I think.
Our Beyonce.
Our Beyonce here. So then you're going to shift and press the other hip back, and then shift and press the other hip back. And if you want to start singing, oh, 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 you can do that, but I don't suggest it at all. We're just pressing that hip back a few times.
It's a great stretch for...
Little bit of glide there, back and forth.
Thank you.
And now, see, now I lose all my privileges.
You can keep this if you want to. Oh my gosh. I have a fused ankle, so when there's a lot of feet and ankle stuff, Kevin's much better guide for that. We're going to be doing our side lunge now. How far apart your feet are increases the challenge of that. So you need to adjust what's right for you on your side lunge. But what I would like you to make sure of is whatever space you put between your feet, that they're still parallel. Don't get them tipped out. Okay, get those feet parallel. We're just gonna come over into our side lunge, lay the hands on that thigh. That knee tracks forward, not blowing out to the side. I'll show you wrong, if you can look at your screen for a minute. Wrong would be over here. We want that knee to track forward and just lightly resting. This is posture, not a huge level of balance. Feel that stretch in that extended leg. Now let's glide over to the other side. Nice extension there. Okay, this is quite elevated. You can stay right here, gliding back and forth. Kevin, you just keep it simple and take it down to the ground. Kevin's taking it into the lower version, and I will continue to demonstrate the elevated version of this. Gliding, gliding. You do what's right for you. If you want to take it down to the ground, you probably need to step your feet a little further apart to get down there. Okay, come to a halt. Come on to upright. Find your balance. Bring the toe. You get a foot cramp? You just jump together. Toes in and heels in, toes in and heels in, like that weird dance from the 1930s, until you're at the center of the mat and just walk that out. We're going to step our feet to the edges of the mat and work on our hips here. Hip circles are next. We want a nice soft knee in this, okay? We're not locked into our legs. Soften your knees and just pop the booty out, come over to the side, and then bring the hips forward. Just coming through that full rotation. If you get dollar bills in your belt, you know you did it right. Let's change direction. Nice big circles, just loosening up those hips. If you've been driving a lot, it's a really good thing to do when you get out of the car, but don't make it too public. And come to a halt. We're going to be coming down to the mat to our hands and knees for the next exercise. Okay, you can go onto a chair if you wish, but then after we are on our knees, we are going to be seated and laying down. So coming down to the mat, make sure the screen is good for this still.
Oh yeah.
Okay, coming down to your hands and knees, we are headed for child's pose. Child's pose is knee, not yet. Knees wide, toes together at the behind, and kiss your toes together there so you have that nice diagonal into your legs. And we're just going to walk the hands forward and bring the body down to the mat. Forehead to the mat. And just find your relaxation in this pose, okay? So forearms are on the mat. Let's talk through the cues of this. And let's just have forearms on the mat, fingers spread wide. If you can't lay your forehead on the floor, then get yourself a yoga block or stack your fists and just rest your head upon the fists. A rolled up towel will work, anything like that. Take a deep breath in, exhale, press your hands into the floor and press your hips back towards your heels. And then relax. There's a space between our shoulders, a part of our spine between our shoulders that ends up very kind of hunched and tense and arched up because of our lifestyle. We're going to pay attention to that right now. Press through your elbows and just push through that part of your shoulders and arch up that part of your spine. And then exhale, let that part of your spine sink back to where it belongs. Come on up a little bit, raise the head and raise the arms so that you're extended to the hands here. We're going into a twisted child pose just for a second here. So I have this nice space right here underneath my arm, and I'm just going to tip my head and look underneath that arm. You're going to feel that nice kind of thoracic twist there, and then come to neutral, look underneath the other side, come to neutral, walk the hands back, and come through to seated on your mat. Legs extended long. We're going to just make a double check on this here. So when we're seated on our mats, what we don't want is to be seated back onto our sacrum. So a lot of people will sit like this and say, oh, I can't do anything when I'm seated. It's because your pelvic tilt is wrong. So what you need to do is put your hands down, pop your booty out, and get yourself to the point where you feel like you have any amount of, it might be small, but any amount of forward tilt. Okay, if you're in a chair, get your feet flat on the floor and a little bit of a space between them, and you can absolutely do what we're doing in our chair. Just don't be leaning back on your chair, be seated upright. Knees are bent here. We're gonna do a nice gentle row. Okay, so I have a little bit of space. We're gonna reach it out, dive past the toes, don't curl up. Pull the arms back to side body, pull the elbows back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull it back. And slow. This is not the workout row that some of you did in Strive about an hour ago. This is just a nice extension and contraction. You don't have to lean back far. If you have low back issues, don't lean back at all. Just come to upright. One more time. Such a good exercise to loosen up the body. And then we're going to work on our forward fold. What I'd like you to do is walk your heels back until you can actually lay your body on your thighs. Okay, so it's really easy just to support and lay your body on your thighs. Maybe your heels are way up here like this. That's okay. Where you need to be. And the first thing we do is get rid of some of this gravity issue. When we're sitting like this, we're kind of crumpled down. Our ribs are close to our hips. Our spine is compressed. Going to inhale and lift that up. Find that height. And then exhale, come forward. Lay the body upon the thighs. Now tuck the chin. This is a very gentle conversation with the back of our legs and our hips. We're not doing anything extreme. A lot of nerve tension affects how much we can forward fold. Let's come on up. Step your heels about an inch away from you. Just seeing where we're at here. Again, inhale, lift up. Exhale, can you still lay yourself down upon your thighs? At some point, we're going to get to where you cannot do that. Come on up. Step your feet out about an inch or so away from the body. And we go again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come to your forward fold. Are you at the extremity of your stretch? Walk your feet back and support it and just stay with that. Okay, you've found where you need to be. Inhale up, step the feet out if you want to. Another forward fold. We gradually work towards loosening that ability. Kevin is very flexible. Now try legs straight no matter what. Just nice and straight, and we're just closing that angle. We're not curling up. Close the angle, look at your feet. Where are you at? Do you feel the tension in the back of your legs? Come on up. We're going to do a nice gentle side open here. Just going to take our opposite hand to knee. So that's left hand, right knee. Reach up with your right, and come into a turn. Just a nice open there. Really gentle. Sorry, I cued you wrong. Breathe through that, not tense through the neck. Come on to neutral spine, come to center. Opposite hand to knee. Reach up, just a gentle turn. Nice, gentle open and turn. Come back to center. I encourage you to sit in whatever way is comfortable for you. Maybe cross-legged, maybe extended. It doesn't matter where your legs are for the next exercise. Okay, I'm going to come a little bit forward so it's easy to see. We're going to be doing a neck glide here, and Kevin maybe going sideways on this. So that we're going to take it really slow, and then we're going to take it into an actual glide. So feel like your head is in alignment with your spine. Let's just do this to make that happen. Hands to side of the head here, pull the elbows back. Now your head is in alignment with your spine, just lower your arms down. Okay, from here, what I would like you to do is draw the back of the head back, like you're getting tight through this jaw and neck, then neutral, and then bring your chin forward, and then neutral and back. Now start to glide through that extension, trying not to move your shoulders, but gliding through that draw back and extension. One of these positions takes a much better selfie than the other, and I think we all know which one that is. And last time. We have a lot of head forward position in our life. People end up with a lot of balance issues because their head is so forward. Stay with the neck for just another moment here. You can change your leg position, whatever's good for you. Okay, we're just going to put a palm on our forehead and press the forehead into the palm and resist. And then relax and press and relax. Now back of the head, you can change hands if you want to and press back into that hand and resist, a little isometric stretch and relax. And again. And relax, let that go. We're back to our hands and knees for one more stretch, and then we're not on our, we only do 2 hands and knees stretches each day, or each class. And I'm going to show the seated version of this. It's really hard for me to cue. And Kevin is going to show hands and knees, but I will show the seated. This is cat and cow. So you're going to come up to your hands and knees, or be seated with your legs crossed or in a chair, whatever you need to be. Okay, and we're just going to be in our cat and cow. Cat and cow, first I will cue with Kevin, and then I'll go to me, because I can't do both at once. Sorry, I'm not that. So what he's got is his hands are straight underneath his shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide, creases of the elbows are forward here, and he's going to just start to tuck his tailbone, tuck his chin. No, okay. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. This is called cat. It's like an arched back of a cat. And he's really pressing through the arms and shoulders. Now he starts to bring the heart forward, lift the tailbone, and sway the spine. Okay, we're going to go through that, just undulating. If you're seated, go with me right now. We're going for an extension. We're going to pull the hands back, sway the spine, push away, arch the spine. We'll start to stay together, Kevin and I. Okay, and then lift the tailbone, sway, tuck the tailbone, and arch. If you have a lot of time in a computer chair, this is a nice stretch for the back, one of the most essential ones for the spine. One more time with the breath. And then staying with that, let's just put our hands a little bit wider. And what we're going to go do is just, we're nice flat tabletop back here. We're just doing a little rotation. So you see the crease of my elbows is forward here? We're going to bring them out like a bulldog and then bring those elbows back in. Just come into that rotation a couple of times. And you'll start to understand when I cue for crease of the elbows forward, go from that bulldog stance to the elbows forward. And that's enough on our hands and knees. We're going to be laying down. And I do understand that laying down makes it really hard for you to see what we're doing on the mat to demonstrate. So if you want to stay upright for a moment, we'll show you a couple of the things. We're going to be doing a knee tap. I'll cue you through this again. This is when we bend the top leg and we tap the knee in front and we tap the toe behind. And so we'll be doing that. We'll be doing an extended leg and lift and lower. And then we're going to be doing some leg rotations. But for now, let's just come on down onto our side. It doesn't matter to me which side you lay on. Pillow your head with your arm. Put your free hand on the mat in front of your face and spread those fingers wide. Okay, bend that top leg, bend that knee. We're going to put the knee on the mat or the floor in front of you, and the heel comes up. We look for that rotation in the hip. Now lift it up, toe taps behind, and the knee comes up. We're doing this nice and slow. Knee in front, lift your heel as much as you can with no discomfort. Toe behind, lift the knee. Do you feel rocking through that hip? Okay, if you've had hip replacements or you have real big hip issues, you might be doing this very, very low instead, or just skipping this one. You do what's right for you. Your body has this story by now. You need to pay attention to what you need out of this. Let's pause, extend the leg long, flex the toes towards the shins so you're not pointing your toes. Blade of the foot, we just lift the straight leg up and lower it down with control. Don't let gravity just flunk it back down. Just lift and lower. One more time and lower. Let's change it out for the next time. We just lift it up, pause, pull a little bit harder and lower from there. We're rolling over onto our backs before the other side. And we're going to be doing some leg rotations. So rolling over onto the back, knees are bent. It doesn't matter which foot you take up in the air. Just put your hands on your abdomen. Take a leg up into the air. So see that knee is bent on the other foot and it's down. Nice, slow circles with the leg. Round. Oh, hi, Kevin.
Hey.
He just kicked me in the head. We're a little closer than we're used to. Let's change direction.
I haven't kicked you this way yet.
You haven't kicked me in that direction yet. That side of my head has no bruises. Nobody will understand that if I say, oh, it was just us doing stretching. Okay, put that foot down, knees bent. Take the other foot up. Nice, slow, controlled circles. I'm too close to our bookcase.
Me too. Turn diagonal.
So we don't just let the gravity let it drop down in one direction. We want to control the whole changing direction. The whole circle is with control. And one leg probably feels very different from the other. Bend the knee and let's roll over to the other side. Tend to the other side. Get yourself situated. Pillow your head with your arm. Hand on the mat in front of your face. And now that top knee bends. We tap it on the floor in front. Heel comes up. Tap the toe behind. Knee comes up. You can just, you might not be looking at me right now and that's fine, but you can just swing through nice and low and make this almost nothing. But if you slow it down and you look to lift that heel, and then you slow it down and you look to lift that knee, then you're really working that hip, and the glide in that hip should start feeling much better. One more time. Extend the leg long, stack it on the other leg, and just lift the blade of the foot, not the toes leading, blade of the foot, and lower down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Last time we're going to add that extra tension. Lifted, hold, a little extra pull, and lower it down. All right, we're laying on our back for the final exercises here. And if you just have to sit up for a moment and see what we're up to, that's fine. But let's just start with our knees bent, laying down. We're having our feet to each other. Okay, that's a good idea. Then you won't kick me. Knees are bent. Feet are flat on the floor, about hip distance apart here. Okay, and let's just do a little check on what we are for posture, because it's hard to settle into a mat sometimes. Spread the toes wide. I'm checking timing so I don't run you guys too late. That's great. Spread the toes wide, soles of the feet on the ground. Press through the feet and lift the hips and tip the pelvis a little bit towards the ceiling. Lay the low spine down. Tuck your chin. Don't get tense in the back of the neck, and let's just hug the right knee into the chest. Holding onto the shin with the hands or holding your thigh, that's fine, whatever works for you. And we're just going to create some knee circles here, just one-sided knee circles. Just letting that just rotate through the hip joint. I tend to just hold with one hand because it gets too complicated. Just a nice big circle. Let's change direction. And for just a moment, drop that knee out to the side. You might put your foot on the ground, it's up to you, but just let that hip open and just be there and try to keep that other leg nice and upright. Breathe into that stretch. With your hand, bring the knee back up so the hip lines up proper. Hug it into the chest one more time. And we're changing. Oh, and then we start a supine twist, sorry. Okay, so hugging that same knee into the chest, let's extend the other leg long and straight on the mat. We're headed for a supine twist here. If you haven't done this with us before, you're gonna have to take a moment and look and then catch up to us here. Grab a hold of that knee with the opposite hand and draw it across the body into a really nice twist. Let's talk about the details once you're there. I have right knee and it's twisted over to the left side. My right hip is high, but shoulders are down. And just extend an arm just to kind of anchor those shoulders. Breathe into the hip. I know you don't have lungs in your hips, but as you inhale, you're going to feel that tension. And as you exhale, you're going to relax into the stretch. These are big muscles. They take a while to respond to a stretch. Let's bring that back to center. Hug it into place. And put that foot down. We're headed to the other side. Hug the left knee into the chest. Right foot is on the floor. And if you did opposite, that's fine. You just do opposite cues here. And now we just create that nice big circle with just that one knee. Just circling through the mobility of that joint. Change direction. Take a pause and open that knee out to the side. You maybe can rest your foot on the floor. Maybe it's hovering. Being content with where you need to be in the stretch and just watching the future progress you make. Instead of forcing something now and then having a big recovery, let's bring that knee back up. Hug it back into the chest. And extend the other leg long on the mat. Headed for our supine twist. I'm hugging my left knee and holding on to it with my right hand. Take it across the body and twist. You can extend your left hand to anchor your shoulders. Deep breath into that hip area. Exhale into the turn. Bring it back to center. Hug it into the chest. And then just put the foot down. Both knees bent now. Both feet are on the mat. We're headed for constructive rest. If you have not done this before, you might need to look, but I'm going to try to cue you really good through this. Bring your feet to the edges of your mat. So you can feel the edges of your mat under your feet. It'll also tell you if you're centered on your mat pretty fast. Okay, so your feet are way out at those edges of the mat. Now just let the knees drop to the center and rest against each other. If you got short legs, the edges of your mat might be too far apart. But now my shins are like an upside down V. Okay, just put your hands onto your abdomen and tuck your chin. This is called constructive rest. This is a very gentle hip stretch. Take a breath here. And just let that be the position for a moment. Slow, deep breathing. We're coming to the end of class here. Lift the knees. Feet side by side, right in the center. Really, really close together. Windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Just drop the knees to one side and lower and drop them to the other side. Shoulders stay anchored. And we just sway through. What a difference you've made in your joints and muscles by spending this 50 minutes taking care of things. Let's extend the legs long. We're going to go into a very brief full body stretch here. I'm trying to make sure I'm not kicking Kevin. I'm moving a little bit. Hey, what's going on here? All right, legs are extended long. Let me cue you through this from heads to toes. Let's just put the arms at side, body, palms up. Start there. All right. Feet are a decent distance apart. Let's start at the toes. So the toes are just like, feet are just dropped out to the side. So the ankles are relaxed, the knees are relaxed, and just let them drop out to the side. Moving up to the hips. Do you feel like you're kind of like got yourself in a tilt so that your back is arched? Press through the heels and lift the pelvis and get that low spine down onto the mat. Arms at an angle to the body so you have a nice space between the arm and the side body. Your body can breathe and be cool. Palms up. For a moment, Press through the elbows and stretch and lift the sternum, the mid-chest. Lift it up and sink it back down. To the neck, let's tuck the chin and lengthen the back of the neck. Relax the jaw. We're going to do a slow, deep breath through the nose and sigh out all the air through the mouth. Inhale deep. And again. And you've done a wonderful thing for yourself today. You can roll over to your side and come up to seated just to close out the class today. Thank you for joining us. This class will be available for a whole week. You can play it whenever it fits you. You can play in bits and pieces. And otherwise, we'd love to see you again on Wednesday.